Castle from the band Slight Return, and this is Music 301, a series of guitar lessons, reviews, and tips for Music Player Magazine, brought to you by MusicNoises.com, MI5 Detroit, and Slight Return USA. Today on Music 301, we're going to talk about developing your own style as a player. That's probably the most difficult part of playing music, is actually coming up with your own sound, your own style, because everybody's influenced by everybody. And when you're learning in the beginning, you definitely, you're going to copy Hendrix tunes, you're going to copy whatever your favorite artist is, you're going to start playing like them. But how do you break out of being a clone of that player? Because there's already one of that guy, the world doesn't need another one. It's a nice tribute to somebody to play like them, but how do you come up with your own style? When I was at Musicians Institute, a teacher of mine, Norman Brown, had given me one suggestion that helped greatly, which was, he said, sit down with a recorder and play a couple of chords. Let's say you're playing, I don't know, if you want to play over a major seventh chord, kind of like a 2-chord progression. Fifth kind of thing, just something really simple. Or if you're a rock guy or a blues guy or a funk guy, just kind of mess around with a progression and record it. Loop it or you want to use whatever, the looper pedal or whatever, make it easy. Play like 2-3 minutes of it. So let that play in the background, and then go back and improvise over the top of that pedal and listen to chord tones. Listen to what, if you're hanging on a particular note, if you're hanging on the sixth. See how the 6th sounds against the chord, the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd. You're going to find out what notes are dissonant and which notes are consonant against that chord. And it's kind of cool because you start to realize, okay, the 9th sounds a certain way, the 3rd has a particular sound to it. This note has a lot of resolution. It feels like it wants to resolve to the 1 or whatever. That's one way, that's one half, which is very inside. So you're learning the technicalities inside of playing. And remember, music theory is only to expand your vocabulary. So, in other words, it's like language, right? You learn, the more words you know, the more articulate you can speak, or the more ideas you have. Now you take that, when you're done with that, let's go to the opposite extreme. So, just record yourself jamming. Don't think about what you're playing. Be completely free on anything you're doing. Turn on your pedals, go crazy. Does not have to be in tune, doesn't have to sound in key, could be anything. Just mess around with it, play. And play for, let's say, half hour to an hour. Take both recordings. You have one recording where you're playing all inside stuff and playing over a chord, trying different scales, you're seeing how they work over this chord, how they sound. Then you're going to listen back to that. You're going to start to refine your playing and say, okay, this sounds good, that doesn't sound good, whatever. Then on the creative side, so that you're completely outside the box, take the other recording that you've made you're playing anything you want. And there's going to be things that you say, wow, I thought this sounded terrible while I was playing it, but it actually sounds pretty cool. I can add that to my, my vocabulary of licks, or whatever you want to call it. Add it to my library, and you'll start to refine your playing. And it's a way of combining right brain and left brain together. So, you're taking a side that's very organized and a side that's very creative, and you're kind of putting them together that way. Because if you stay too much in the box, it's going to be hard for you to be creative. And also, if you stay too much outside the box, it may sound like chaos after a while. But it's a good way to kind of mesh the two and come up with your own style. Then on top of that, I highly suggest to get into songwriting itself, because that's going to open up your vocabulary with chords, you're going to see different ways to write, and that's where your style is really going to come out when you start to write music. It's always fun to learn songs from other people and imitate and this, that, but start writing. Write down lyrics. Start messing around. Listen to songs that have really influenced you and say, hey, what is it about that chorus that I love? What is it about that hook? And come up with a phrase that'll work for a hook, or whatever you think, a melody line, something that grabs you as a listener, and then take it and spin it into something that'll help you as a musician, a songwriter, I mean, this is a huge part of becoming a musician. I noticed there's a lot of TV shows where people go up and they sing somebody else's song. But a true mark of an artist is creativity in writing your own music. That's the beauty of it, writing things. And you know what? Sometimes people are not going to think you're right. They're going to hate what you're doing. But if this is what the music you like and how you feel, I mean, I don't think anybody listened to like bands that I love, like Primus, the first time and said, "Wow, Les Claypool's voice is phenomenal," you know. But it's his style. I mean, he's him. He's creative. He's unique. Guys like Geddy Lee from Rush, or all these bands that came up with something so different, is because they were willing to take a step outside the box and be their own person. So I know this. There's not a lot of playing in this video. It's more conceptual, but I think it's very, very important to try and be conscientious about developing your own style. And you will. You're going to be influenced by people in the beginning. You're going to imitate this guy and say, "Hey, I like this guy. I like that guitar player. I learned this song exactly. I learned that song." But then try taking it to a new level. Practice inside the box. Practice stuff outside the box. And eventually you're going to come to creating your own voice and your own personality in music. Put them together in a song. Try putting together the chorus first. See if it's strong. Does it stick in your head? And yeah, you're going to write stuff at first you're not going to be happy with. Say, "Man, this is garbage." But as you continue, you're going to continue to refine, and then you're going to, eventually you want it to be a good songwriter and player both, which is a rare commodity. So that's my advice, and we'll see you next time, Music 301.